Hey guys, this is Alan from QCTropicals, and in today's episode I'm going to teach you how to grow your own giant passion fruit. Giant passion fruit variety, it's not one of those varieties that you see every day. It's actually a rare variety and it's very hard to find reliable information online. But one thing that I found out over the years is that giant passion fruit, you can see the botanical name on the bottom of the screen. It's one of the easiest varieties to grow in my area, surprisingly. They can take the full sun, they can take the winter, and they grow super fast. They actually, in my belief, I think they grow faster than the most popular variety that we sell here at the nursery, which is gonna be, you know, the purple possum or the Frederick passion fruit, which is, you know, in the Passiflora Quadrangularis. But anyways, let me show you guys. So my giant passion fruit, I have two plants in the ground, and I don't know, with this brightness setting, I don't know if you can see it, it's growing in this pine tree all over the place. And this year we actually have tons of flowers. We have the most flowers I have ever had before, which I think it's because my plant is, well, getting older. Now this plant that you see right here, it's about a year and a half in the ground, and you can see how nice looking the flowers are. I mean, those flowers are one of the nicest flowers that you are going to see out of any passion fruit variety. Now let's talk about the growing conditions for the giant passion fruit. This plant right here will take full sun anywhere in the US. Why do I say that? Because if it takes full sun in my area, it will take full sun in your area, guaranteed. Now, winter protection. This variety right here, once fully rooted in the ground, they can even take some light frost. The lowest temperature that I had this winter in my property was 27 degrees. And the winter before, last winter, it was 25 degrees. And this passion fruit did not take any damage at all. It even took some light frost without taking any damage. The root system of this plant is shallow. Let me show you what the vine looks like. This vine right here, it's fully grown, and you can see how thick they get. Very easy to grow, and then, I mean, these things are like bulletproof. Now, surprisingly, these plants right here were not meant to be in this area. These plants actually rooted through the pots into the through the wheat cloth into the ground, and they grew into the pine tree because they are that vigorous. The root system of this plant is shallow and fibrous and vigorous. They just grow very quickly. Water requirement for this plant is going to be water frequently, because the roots of this plant don't go that deep in the ground, so you're gonna have to water frequently for that reason. All right, let me show you the next one. All right guys, the next plant that I have in the ground, which I actually intended to plant in the ground, is growing into this lemon. It's everywhere, it's just growing everywhere into this lemon. But this is not where I planted it. Oh, look, I have some vines growing over here, all the way from the wall. Look at that. Let me show you where the plant is. The main plant. All right, so originally I put some posts in the ground and I planted it right over there. You can see there's the main trunk, and then I put some cattle panels on the wall. Oh look, I got some flowers over here. I didn't even notice these flowers. Look how beautiful these flowers look like, guys. Even if you don't get fruits out of this variety, I mean, the flowers alone are worth it. But yeah, this variety right here has been in the ground, I would say, coming up to 2 years, and it completely overtook the cattle panel, which is 16 feet long by 6 feet tall, and then it started growing into my lemon tree. If you look at how to grow this variety online, you know, it's all over the place. But I can tell you the information that I'm giving you today is going to be the most accurate growing information you are going to find anywhere online. All right, we talked about the root system. Let's talk about fertilization. What do you need to feed this plant? To be honest, guys, I don't do much. Maybe every once in a while I may get some compost, I may get some horse poop, and I throw it on the ground, put some mulch in there, and that's it. Very easy, and you can see how vigorous this plant is. Now, it did take over a year for me to start seeing flowers, and then the bees do pollinate these flowers. I actually have video that I posted on Instagram where the flowers are being pollinated by the bees. So you do not need to hand pollinate this variety, which originally I thought that you needed. Now the problem that I've been having though, guys, is even though I'm getting a lot of flowers, I'm not seeing any fruits forming anywhere. So one thing that I think this variety requires is cross-pollination. That means it may need pollen from a different variety to pollinate this variety in order to get fruit. So that is something that I'm still learning, and once I find out 100%, I will let you guys know. So pollination, as of right now, you may need a different variety to pollinate this variety, but at least you don't have to hand pollinate it, because I've seen bees pollinate the flowers just fine. So we talked about the sun, the winter, we talked about the water requirements, fertilization, pollination, and I think that is about it. When do you get flowers? This variety actually flowers throughout the growing season. Once your night temperatures start warming up, you're gonna get flowers off and on throughout the growing season. How big does it get? I mean, my pine trees in the back, guys, are about 70 to 100 feet tall, and that passion fruit is completely covering the entire pine tree. And this one over here is completely covering my 20-foot tall lemon tree. So they will grow vigorously. Very easy to grow. I really recommend this variety. It's extremely hard to find, but you know what, guys, that's what we do here at QCTropicals. We specialize in hard to find plants, and the good thing about this variety specifically is that we actually grow it ourselves. One last thing I wanted to touch on, guys, before we finish this video is container growing. Can you grow this passion fruit in a container indefinitely? My answer is maybe. Have you seen my other variety? It grew through the pot, through the wheat cloth into the ground. So if you want to keep it in a pot, obviously a pot as needed, but it's going to get to a point where your plant will root that container fully, and at that point you got two choices. First one, you can keep potting it into a bigger container. Number two, you can root prune the canopy down and repot it into the same container. Long-term growing, I mean, I grow them in pots, guys, but the main problem that I have is they grow so big so fast, and I have to prune them all the time, and they dry out on me so quickly because they become root bound very quickly. So I don't recommend growing them in containers long-term. But anyways, guys, hopefully this helps you out. If you have any questions, comment below. I have a lot of plants growing right now, but as soon as the night temperatures warm up, they are going to start taking off. So they'll be ready on the website if you're interested in getting one yourself. Like I said, just follow the growing tips that I gave you and you will be successful. This variety is one of the easiest ones in my area to grow, and I live in the desert, guys. If I can do it, so can you. All right, guys, until next time.